So ambivalence, ambivalence or ambiguity or being confused, all those states, they are actually a real phenomenon, a real experiences when you're going through a change. When you realizing, when you becoming more self-aware and you coming to awareness that it's actually about one person, but I have mixed feelings. It's actually about one situation, but I have contradictory impressions about it. So it is about a person, a people, a group of people, but also about an event where you can find yourself somewhere on the spectrum, but on opposite ends, right? Good and bad. Now, there's so much we can talk about ambivalence. However, the first step, the most important step, is to understand that it is completely natural and it comes from somewhere. So some people define it as a conflictual relationship between two positions of the way you're experiencing your life or experiencing your in life. So yourself is in conflictual relationship between favoring a change or favoring being stuck somewhere. Let me rephrase it for you. So perhaps you are in difficult relationship with someone, be it your parent, be it your child, be it your spouse, be it with your work colleague or your boss. And on one hand side, you really admire those people. You respect them. You understand that even from Islamic perspective, you need to give bir walidain to your parents. Silatu wasil, you can't cut those relationships from your life. It's part of you calling yourself a believer, that you're going to nourish those relationships. However, they are so difficult that there are times when I'm sorry, but you hate it. There are times when I'm sorry, but they make you miserable. There are times where you are even feeling like a victim, and that is the most important thing that we can talk about ambivalence. Ambivalence, when you find yourself in ambivalence, when you find yourself in ambiguity, when you find yourself in conflict, this is the moment, a very uncomfortable moment of a change. And that change can be either I can either take you and be and make you another person, or this change can actually stop where you are right now, because you might make a decision, I'm going to feel that way all my life. So instead of being proactive, instead of being protagonist, you might make decision, no, I'm going to be passive. And many people do it. And obviously those decisions that I'm talking about it on a really subconscious level. It's not something that we are aware unless you really work on yourself. Majority of us, we don't know that this is what we're doing. So if you work with Muslim clients, or if you are one of those Muslims who are striving to deepen their relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how it looks like is that you are feeling that your iman is dipping down. You're praying for the sake of doing the prayers instead of feeling closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you asking yourself a question, that you realizing that this is really ambivalent. On one hand side, I know that I'm a believer. I know that there's no other way for me. I'm loving Islam, but on the other hand, I'm hating how I'm doing this Islam, because I feel nothing out of it. I get nothing out of those prayers. I feel sluggish, I feel down. So in that situation, I suggest to ask yourself a question. So are you praying for the sweetness of the after feeling of the prayers, or are you praying for yourself, and are you praying to your Lord? In fact, Lord needs your prayers not as much, or even at all, as much as you do need them. And yes, he promised you tranquility after the prayers, but he never promised you're going to go through halawatu of Islam, meaning the sweetness of Islam every single time you pray. That's not the way this experience of this dunya is there for you. So you might have clients, or you yourself, you might just find yourself being conflicted between relationship, you and your parents. Your parents, they might have really strong personalities. They might be very demanding on you. They might even be quite dramatic. They might put out the tantrums even. Yes, some adults, they do it if you don't comply with their idea of your life. And you might absolutely hate it. That might absolutely hinder your growth and have an impact on your life. But on the other hand side, you love your parents. They've done everything to you. You would never say no to them. You would never say oof to them. This is what Allah wants from you. But also, you being true to yourself, you have that within yourself. You have that degree of respect to them. And what do you do then? What do? You don't want to displease them. You don't want to displease your Lord, and you don't want to be you don't want to do something against yourself. So in that very moment, realize that if you're going through ambiguity, and it's conscious ambiguity, it's because your soul wants something better from you. Your soul wants asking you, okay, your parents have rights, but you have rights as well. Okay, so I have many examples like this, but I hope you understanding what this ambivalency in counseling is. This is a phenomenon that majority of us are going to go through if we are developing ourselves. And in work with faith, in work with Muslim faith, this it can be more complex than just experience on the level of relationship with yourself or relationship with others, because we need to add to it the degree of alliance with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, I hope that was helpful.